about the KFFSC, the Kentucky Fantasy Football State Championship, which is the best fantasy league there is.
It's awesome.
In the area.
I can't wait for next year already. I'm still having a chance to go to the playoffs this year, and I can't wait for next year.
I can't either.
Well, I know before we get into everything, on that, Farrell started our little commissioner points challenge last week. Obviously, you don't have the best chance of making the divisional playoffs, so he kind of wanted to keep us involved, and he set up a challenge. Whoever scores the more points from last week on to the end of the fantasy season between me and Kelly here, we get a free entry to one of the leagues next year. I'm pretty sure we're already involved in the main event, but it might be something else. I can't remember exactly what Farrell told us, but I lead that by just a short margin, 173 to 154 after week 1. So it's going to be a fun little non-divisional rivalry we got going on.
Certainly. Yeah, I'm let's see here. I won last week, so I'm probably not going to make the playoffs, but still, I am 3-5. So I mean, if I were to win out, maybe if the cards were to fall in the right direction, I could. But it's a lot of fun. We're really enjoying the KFFSC Fantasy Football League this year. We've also got some stuff to talk about on the. Obviously, I think we're going to talk some basketball later.
Yeah, we'll talk basketball a little bit in the second hour. Obviously, we got Winston and Dave Bazold, two basketball guys. So it'll kind of be a basketball show, but let's start out with your cards. I know that's the number one thing going on right now around the area. If anybody wants to call in and talk to us about this on the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz line, 384-1450, and you shoot us a text. The Lotus Gunworks text line at 414-1450. Get your thoughts about yesterday's Louisville win. First time, Kelly, in history, your cards are 9-0.
Yeah, and I think that C.L. Brown did a good job on the cover of the sports page. The title is 9-0, but still not perfect. That was as convincing of a win as Louisville has had this season against a very subpar Temple team.
Very subpar.
But that's what you're supposed to do. I mean, they only allowed 10 points to be scored by the offense, so they had made some strides defensively. Didn't really allow much of a passing game to go on. Teddy Bridgewater just really continues to drive home how good he is. I mean,
great game. 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, 300-plus passing yards. As a Kentucky fan, I can give respect when credit is due, and that man is doing it all season, honestly. He is one of the best quarterbacks in America.
Yeah, I agree with that. We were talking about it a little bit before the show. There's obviously Geno Smith. The guy from Kansas State, what's his name?
Colin Klein, who I do not think is better than Bridgewater.
Okay.
I do not.
Also, obviously, Matt Barkley is projected as a first-round draft pick in the NFL this upcoming season. So there's some good quarterbacks out there. You could make a case Barkley really isn't even as good as a lot of people say he is. But, yeah, Teddy is the real deal, and Louisville is undefeated. Made a couple comments in the post-game interview that have kind of riled up particularly some Kentucky fans, I think. What were his comments?
Not really Kentucky fans, just maybe,
it seems that Kentucky fans.
But maybe it got under Matt's skin. Our guy, John Hancock, he took it a little light. Well, he's the U of L guy. He's going to spin Tino the way he can. So, it was just one of his comments was he was asked, should you be considered for the national championship? You're 9-0. You're one, looks like a top 10 BCS team, obviously. You're number 10. He replied with, with our schedule, our strength of schedule, basically, the teams that are out there, yeah, we should. I mean, come on now. The schedule, you're not even one of the top 20. Your schedule is like, 80-something, maybe even 90? I don't know off the top of my head. It's awful. That schedule is terrible. Why should your schedule put you up for national championship? You haven't played anybody. You played Cincinnati. You beat them at home. You're going to go play Rutgers on the road. Other than that, UNC was not good when you played them, and they're still not good. They lost to Duke. I don't see it. I don't see you all being up for considered for a championship.
6-3. That's not that bad.
Who?
UNC 6-3. They've got a couple projected first rounders.
I'm sure their schedule is. I don't care about first rounders right now. I'm talking about what's happened, and I'm sure their schedule is not good considering they're an ACC as well.
Yeah. When you're a fan of Kentucky who's in the SEC, the very best conference, I understand.
I'm not talking about that.
Everything else is short.
I'm not talking about that.
Everything else falls short.
Go play a Big 12 schedule. Let's just set it up. Go play Big 12.
You can't do that if you're not in the Big 12.
I'm just saying. I'm not talking about just the SEC. I'm not trying to compare everything to Kentucky's schedule. I'll compare it to the Big 12 schedule. Go play a Big 12. Go play a Big 10 schedule right now. It's a decent conference. I know you can't. I'm just saying.
Go do
your 12-0 record
9-0.
is awesome. You know what I'm saying? If you get to 12-0, that's fantastic. Congratulations. I'll shake your hand. That's huge. I don't care about who you play. If Kentucky goes 40-0 with a if they go 16-0, which they did with a not the best SEC, I'm very happy. As you were very happy to not know. I just think if you make it to a you should not make it to the national championship, which I think you agree, but Teddy Bridgewater saying you should be up for that national championship is just dumb.
But what if you put a 19-year-old kid into somewhat of a tough situation? What is he going to say?
I don't know.
Well, we didn't play that good of teams, so I understand. We regardless of us winning out, we probably shouldn't move up past the 10th spot.
I mean, plenty of ways
if you were to say that,
plenty of ways. I know what you're saying, but it was a dumb question. That's the first off, dumb question.
I don't know that I have a problem. I think you could say it was a good question. We're talking about it.
I mean, we're talking about his comments.
But I mean, he was asking. I mean, it's a relevant question.
I just think
it's relevant.
Talk about the game that just happened. You know, talk about the national championship that's still possibly 5 games on the road, even with the shot of making it slim to none. I mean, talk about anything but that. Let's go to the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz line. Let's talk to a guy who is not the biggest UL fan, but he's an IU alum. Truth, good morning.
Good morning. How about the Hoosiers have won a football game in the Big Ten?
They did. It was a good win.
We should at least have 7 wins this year.
I'm pretty sure I remember back before the season started, you were expecting them to go bowling, and that was very happy for you. Where are they at right now? Overall record.
They are 4-4.
4-4. Not bad.
They have a chance then. Who's left on Indiana's schedule?
Let's see. We got Purdue left. I think Wisconsin. I think Penn State.
That's an opportunity. I mean, Purdue is not.
And Nebraska, I think. We got Nebraska left.
They're pretty good. They did just knock off. They're ranked. They're a good team. I think you can knock off Purdue, and definitely you can knock off Penn State. Penn State's obviously they're Penn State right now. You could go bowling, Truth. Would you be happy about that?
Let me give you some shout out for Teddy Bridgewater yesterday. Didn't he showed out?
What's that?
Teddy Bridgewater showed out yesterday.
He sure did. I mean, he is the real deal. You can't ask for, it's perfect to have a guy who has the ability to dominate the game with his legs, and he really doesn't want to. But when he has to, a couple times yesterday, he can run for a first down, but he likes to pass instead. He's such a valuable guy offensively. You're right, Truth. Teddy is the real deal.
I think he need to be mentioned about the Heisman Trophy, at least mention about it.
Oh, yeah. You certainly, at this point, he continues putting up basically perfect games, and his team's undefeated. I don't care how weak their schedule is.
I'm with you.
He's doing it. You only can play the people on your schedule. So,
I agree with you, Truth. Teddy's the man.
He's the man so far.
Truth, before I let you go, basketball season a week away. How excited are you for your number one Hoosiers?
Oh, well, Saturday's the tip-off game. We're going to win, and I'm excited. I'm excited about Friday night when Kentucky Wildcats get beat by Maryland. I'm buying me a big Dr. Pepper and have a good time when they go down.
Oh, goodness.
Go Cards and your bell. Go Cards and the Hoosiers. How about that?
There you go. We appreciate the call, Truth. Like he said, I know we're talking football. We're going to talk basketball plenty today, but Kentucky does play Maryland to open the schedule up this Friday. I cannot wait. I know Louisville, they got a couple weeks left for football, so that's the number one priority for you guys. Obviously, Kentucky sucks, so we're looking forward to head to basketball. On the basketball here in about 15 minutes, Winston Bennett, stick with us. We're going to be speaking to him. We're pretty sure.
Yeah, it looks like Winston will be calling in at about 10:30. If not, there's no shortage of things to talk about today.
No shortage of things to talk about.
Breeders' Cup weekend. We may get a call from Brian, the insider, maybe to update us on a little Breeders' Cup talk. I mean, as you mentioned, Louisville basketball starts a week from today. But right now, we're talking football. Louisville's undefeated. Not like CL said, 9-0, but still not perfect. I'm okay with that. They're undefeated. Kentucky lost.
I don't even want to talk about that right now. Let's go to the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz on again, and we'll get some guy I know who wants to talk football. Carolina Steve.
Well, the first thing Truth forgot to mention is in the division in which Indiana is in, they could actually play for the Big Ten championship if they could beat Wisconsin and Purdue.
Wow, that'd be very, very impressive of the Hoosiers, but very indicative of how awful their division is if they could go play for a conference title at 6-6.
It's not indicative of that. It's the fact that there are two teams in their division ineligible to compete for the championship.
I guess that'd be true.
Ohio State,
yep.
Penn State.
Good point, Carolina. I did totally forget about the Ohio State and Penn State issue. Yeah, Ohio State's having a hell of a season, and obviously they can't do anything with that.
It was a great day for football yesterday. Great quarterbacks made great shows. Probably the two that impressed me was A.J. McCarron leaped the Crimson Tide to the winning touchdown in the final minutes of the game. And the second one was the quarterback, Johnny Football from Texas A&M.
Had a great game.
He has stepped up and might be in the top 3 for the Heisman right now.
Oh yeah, I did tune into some of that game. It was on, the local channeling. Texas A&M looked like a great ball team yesterday. They handled Mississippi State at home, like you said. Johnny Football just getting it done. But I think it was a good day for all quarterbacks. Teddy Bridgewater, Colin Klein, except for Kentucky quarterbacks, that is. But like you mentioned, I like your first thought. A.J. McCarron and that drive of Alabama. I was telling Kelly on the way up here. Did he see it? He didn't see it. He took his team in the most hostile environment in college football at night and won it for Alabama to prove why they are the best team.
It was good. Alabama, to me, they'll probably run the table. Hopefully we can get them playing somebody like Kansas State or Oregon in the championship. But last night, I forgot one more performance. Ty Ford, 5 touchdown passes and 1 rushing. And also, Kelly, do not go to East Carolina and try to get our special teams coach. I was watching yesterday, and every kickoff East Carolina had against Houston, they pinned them back inside the 25-yard line. They were down there and covered. And it seems to me that Louisville couldn't cover a kick against the 8th grade team. Have a nice day.
You too, Carolina.
Carolina brings up a good point there. I mean, the defense made some strides yesterday, but a couple different times.
The opening kickoff.
The opening kickoff. I mean, throughout this season, special teams for Louisville has struggled
drastically. Kentucky's special teams are a mile ahead of Louisville, if that says anything. It really is. They're averaging about 44 off of kicks. Returns. Yeah. That's damn good.
It's always kind of tough. I think the eyeball test is what the best thing is.
Come on, Matt.
The eyeball test kind of is what's best for that because, I mean, Kentucky has their punter. How many awards has he won this year?
He's going to win every award for 4 years because he's punted so many times.
Statistically, he's dominant. He's dominant.
He's terrible, too.
So it's I think the eyeball test, you watch the game, you say the special teams just isn't getting it done,
I mean, Louisville, they allowed the opening kick. I mean, granted, that was a perfect hole. You couldn't ask for a bigger hole for the return guy for Temple, and a guy super fast, which made it even easier. But what's it matter? You still went out and won, 45-17, didn't allow a second half point. I mean, Louisville looked like a fine-tuned machine. Yesterday, we said in the pregame that this was me and Mark Blankbaker, host of KentuckySports.co. We said this is the game that Louisville gets to cruise. Obviously, we were right. They finally got to do that. First, I believe, since the second week of the season. That's the last time they really got to have a pretty simple schedule. I know we're up against this break here. Before we get to that, we'll go across those scores real quick, Kelly. Alabama did that, knock off LSU, top 5 matchup, 21-17. Kansas State, Oklahoma State, 44-30 in a little Big 12 shootout there. I did catch that. Wasn't impressed with either of those teams, to be honest with you. A lot of offense, but, you're talking defense winning championships. They have no defense. Pittsburgh, Notre Dame. Did you watch any of this, Kelly?
I did not.
Gosh, you didn't see anything yesterday. You missed some great football. I would say great and bad football. Notre Dame was very lucky. Pittsburgh missed a game-winning field goal. They also had Notre Dame fumble on the goal line to in overtime, which caused that missed field goal later. Very lucky. Notre Dame stays undefeated and pushed that up. It would have been a big loss for Louisville. If any loss for the guys ahead of Louisville is huge. That's kind of a setback, especially Pittsburgh. That would have been big for Louisville scheduling. Oregon put up USC 62-51. This was not it was Oregon's game from the get-go. It really was. 37-10 of Georgia over Ole Miss. Florida had a tough one against Missouri, 14-7. Of course, Cards blew them out. Oregon State 36-26. I mean, there wasn't many up. I don't think there was an upset worth mentioning yesterday. That was a true upset. I mean, 23 Texas over Texas Tech, not really an upset. So, I mean, here's San Diego State, Kelly. Welcome to the Big East, right? Are they going to be the Big East, or is that San Diego?
I believe it's San Diego State.
I believe it is, too. They beat Boise State 21-19, your former Big East team, for about 48 hours, if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're wrong. So those are some scores. If y'all want to call us, 384-1450. We're going to get to this break, and next segment, talk to Winston Bennett. We'll be right back on the Weekend Sports Buzz. Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz, right here on 1450 AM, every Saturday and Sunday, 9 to 11 and 10 to 12. Weekend Sports Buzz crew, KentuckySports.co, taking over your airways. We appreciate everybody listening, all the callers today. It's the 11 o'clock hour, though. It is Sunday, which means NFL. But before NFL means fantasy football, Kelly. You got to get that lineup set. We usually have our man Phil Elliott on the line, KFFSC commissioner, but we got a little substitute this week. We had a bye week for Phil, but we're bringing in his man Kelly Thompson. Kelly, what's going on?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. What a beautiful sunny day for some professional football.
It couldn't be happier. I love, Sundays and Saturday, best days of the year for sports. Me and Kelly right here. We got two Kellys on the line. Oh, whoa. Just noticed that. It's crazy.
That's it. Bacon called me Kelly Patrick the other day, so I guess I'm the little Kelly.
The little Kelly. That's good. So, Kelly, do you join Bacon and Farrell on the show every Wednesday?
I do. I have the pleasure of joining them in studio there.
That's good, and that is every Wednesday at 12 or 1?
Every Wednesday at 12. Every Wednesday at 12 noon.
Awesome. And so everybody needs to check that out. It's the your fantasy football weekly update every Wednesday. The fantasy football hour with Kelly Thompson, Farrell Elliott, and Bacon Trevor Kelsey. Getting into that early this Sunday. Me and Kelly here, and I think you know about mine and Kelly's little fantasy challenge. Farrell got started for us.
Yeah, I think I'm aware of it, but the one thing I think Farrell needs to give an award for most original name. I think Tyler would win that.
I totally agree with you. I've looked up down to 204 teams, and my poop is Ronnie and Brown is 100% the best team out there.
That is an eye-catching team name right there, if there was one.
No, it really is. I like to get absurd with my names. Well, on that note, starting off a little bit of some Week 9 inactives. Couple guys out there, do you know off the top of your head who won't be there? I think Braylon Edwards, not that anybody cares, but like Greg Jennings, I know he's still out. Greg
Jennings is still out. Just to give you an update here, I'm looking through my notes here on Twitter. You've got Calvin Johnson is start today. There was a question of Calvin Johnson start today. Calvin Johnson starting. If you got him, put him in your lineup.
Okay.
Real quick, let's talk about Star report here. Pierre Thomas. A lot of people are familiar with Pierre Thomas. Darren Sproles is out for about 3 to 4 weeks, maybe 1 to 2 weeks, but Pierre Thomas' stock just went up dramatically over the weekend. Expect Pierre Thomas to get you 6 to 8 more points than he normally would.
Wow.
And then that's also going to open up a few more points for even Lance Moore and possibly Jimmy Graham to catch some of those passes that Sproles would get. And then, guys, if you're really hurting at tight end, and he's probably available in many leagues, there's a tight end in Indianapolis named Dwayne Allen. Kobe Fleener's out for 1 or 2 games. Expect those targets to go to Dwayne Allen. He would be a nice late addition pickup at tight end if anybody's hurting for a tight end today.
Yeah, good points. Right up the alley of one of my teams there. I know Brad, our other team that is in the league, he has Calvin Johnson. His team sucks, though.
Yeah, Calvin Johnson seems to be injured, and kind of, from what I read early this morning, it looks like he will play. He may be kind of relegated to third down type plays. I mean, they may use him a little bit here and there, not so much the whole game.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm brave enough to set him, though, but you're exactly right. I've seen some reports floating around. He could be third down duty, but he's one of those that even on one good knee, that guy could still put up a ton of points. But it was interesting. We had a mid-season draft the other night, the KFFSC did, and Calvin Johnson did not go until about the 5th round.
Wow.
So that was pretty shocking. But, I mean, he's obviously had a down year, but somebody got a darn nice pick in the 5th round.
Trevor Bacon was telling me about that, the mid-season draft. What is that? Is it basically just the same concept of the fantasy draft, just halfway through the season?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's total points only. There's no head-to-head or anything like that. It's just total points only. So you take 12 teams. Whoever scores the most points cumulative between this week and Week 16, there's your champion.
There you go. Kind of like our challenge, Kelly. I'm up about 18 points on you after week 1. Plenty of time to go. It'll be a fun little challenge we have going on. I see another guy that's out there. A lot of people have. Jordy Nelson will be active in an early game. And maybe a little handcuff type thing. Jonathan Dwyer and Rashard Mendenhall, both active for the 4 o'clock hour.
Yeah, and who did you say now? Jordy Nelson is active. Is that
Jordy
correct?
Nelson, yes, sir.
Oh, well, that's good information there. I still, I don't know how tough I'll be playing him. I've got Randall Cobb. I'm definitely leaving Cobb in. He's as hot as any wide receiver out there. But out there in Pittsburgh, what did you say? Do you got some information for Pittsburgh?
Yeah, it looks like both the backs, Dwyer and Mendenhall, will both be active.
Really?
Wow. That's a shock.
Yeah, I didn't know about Jordy Nelson or Rashard Mendenhall.
That's why we're here with the fantasy talk, Kelly. That's what we do. So we do.
That's shocking in Pittsburgh. I know a lot of people were picking up Redmond, thinking he was going to start, but wow, that's a pretty surprising move. Well, there you go. There's some late running back additions if you need help at running back. But of the 3, I don't know. I personally would probably go with Mendenhall if he's active, but I didn't expect him to play this week.
Well, Kelly, what division are you in the main event of the KFFSC?
I'm in the main event at the KFFSC. I've got 3 teams, and I think I'm like 15th overall on one, and maybe 25th overall on the other, and then one of my teams is a stinker. So I'm not going to talk about it.
Do you know off the top of your head what division those first 2 teams are in?
I'm in the Lenny Lyles division.
Okay.
And I'm in the...
People out there have... It might be kind of scary. I don't know how to really put that question.
What do you mean? Somebody that...
Maybe a guy that's... I know most bye weeks are done. Maybe a guy that you would want... It's sitting on your bench for normally, but you might want to put him in the lineup this week.
Ooh, good question here. If I'm looking at my cheat sheet here, let me grab my cheat sheet here. Well, again, we touched on Pierre Thomas. I'll tell you somebody that I would consider setting this week, and he's normally an every week starter. Mark Bradshaw is playing Pittsburgh at home. His status is still up in there. But Mark Bradshaw, that Pittsburgh rushing defense is pretty tough. If you have him, you're probably going to have to start him, but I've still got him down several notches below than what I normally would. Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, he's one of those guys. I am just not. He's had a very disappointing year, and if you've got Ben Jarvis Green Ellis today, he's playing Denver. He hasn't been putting up any points. He's someone I would consider setting, and believe it or not, Michael Turner. He's another one that you would think would be an every week starter, but he's somebody this week against that Dallas defense that I'm not too sure that I'd want in there. But it depends on what your other options are to consider whether to put him in or not. And then again, Donald Brown is looking very, very iffy this week. He had draining in his knee. The trainers took some fluid out of his knee this morning, so Vic Ballard's probably going to be the man there in Indy. But again, playing a Miami defense that's number 3 overall in the NFL is not somebody I feel real comfortable with. But if you're desperate, take a look at Vic Ballard.
There you go. A couple guys out there you might want to sit, which is always good. I do want to correct myself. I misread what I said. Redmond is the guy. Mendenhall and Dwyer are both out. I totally misread.
I was gonna say. I was pretty sure. I'm sitting Mendenhall in 2 of my leagues. And
don't start them. Don't listen to me. I was totally wrong.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought I was off my game today. I thought, holy cow.
That's why we bring you guys on, because guys like me are always wrong.
And I'll tell you, somebody else is getting more touches lately. You asked about a start that normally wouldn't start. Miami's playing Indianapolis at home. Indy's pretty weak against the rush defense. Daniel Thomas has been getting a lot of Reggie Bush's carries lately, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him sneak in for a touchdown. Daniel Thomas out of Miami.
Yeah, that was another good start. I like the way Kelly Thompson brings it. It's straight up. Start this guy or sit this guy.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Historically and currently, the Colts just can't stop the run. So anybody who's running the ball against them, you always want to start. Kelly, we really appreciate you filling in for our man Farrell this week, and we look forward to having you on again. And good luck with you in your games this today.
Thank you, guys. I had some big shoes to fill this morning, and like I said, I don't know if Mr. Elliott will be back, but anytime you need me to come on, be glad to come on, and you guys have a good day. Thanks.
You too, Kelly. We appreciate it.
Good stuff there from Kelly. Kelly's a very well-respected guy within the KFF SC.
Anybody that Farrell is having to replace him, you got to trust. So, I do apologize. There is no Dwyer and Mendenhall today.
I'm still questioning the Jordy Nelson thing, honestly.
I think I misread all of those. I'm pretty sure I'm just...
All right.
No. I can tell you what I'm doing. All those guys I'm playing, and I want you to start them if I'm playing. That's what my strategy is.
You think the people that you're playing against are listening to the show?
I'm a shark. Oh, they're listening, Kelly. They always listen.
Everybody listens.
384-1450 if you all want to shout it. Talk a little fantasy football, a little Kentucky basketball, Louisville football, basketball. Do so. Give us a call. Looks like we're going to a break here. We're going to come back. Dave Pizzola at 11:30. Other than that, basketball talk, Weekend Sports Buzz.
Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz. Let us know what you think. Give us a call on the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz Line at 384-1450.
Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night. Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night. Blinded by the light.
Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz. Brought in with Blinded by the Light. Tyler singing along.
I don't want to say that one.
No, but good stuff. We're back. We actually got our man, Brian the Insider, is on the line with us. How you doing this morning, Brian?
Good morning, Kelly and Tyler. How are you guys this morning?
Doing great. I know that there's a lot to talk about today as far as, the big win from Louisville, 9-0. Some other stuff going on, but something we haven't really touched on so far in the show is it's a big weekend in the world of horse racing. What's going on this weekend?
Oh, wow. It was the biggest, really arguably the biggest weekend of horse racing. The Breeders' Cup was held at Santa Anita Park. The two-day event started Friday. Friday's events were capped by the Ladies Classic and Royal Delta. She won it for the second straight year. Just a beautiful filly. Bill Mott trains her. She pulled off the rare double where she repeated it. Last year she won it, and she actually was sold subsequently at the Keeneland breeding sales for $8.5 million. And to the delight of horse racing enthusiasts, the new owners, instead of putting her right in the brood shed to have some babies, they put her back on the track, and she just had a stellar year. She ran at Churchill, looked fantastic. I saw her in person there, beautiful filly, and she convincingly won the Ladies Classic Friday, and then Kentucky was well represented yesterday for Saturday's racing. We had Groupie Doll, a Kentucky bred and based horse, convincingly win. We had Wise Dan, who's probably going to end up being the horse of the year. He really looked unbelievable and beat some very good European horses yesterday. And then it was capped off in the Fort Larned won the Classic, and with not only a locally based horse, but locally based jockey, Brian Hernandez. Now, you guys probably know Brian best as the regular rider for Fat Day.
Yeah.
But Ryan celebrated his 27th birthday. He was riding Friday at the track. My wife and I were out the track. We got to wish Brian good luck. He ran the full card at Churchill Friday, boarded a flight to Santa Anita, and won the $5 million Breeders' Cup Classic. Won it 9-1. So, I mean, he was not at all one of the favorites and wired the field. But it was a big day all across the board for Kentucky-bred and Kentucky-based horses. Dale Romans won a big race. I mean, it was just, you get all the best horses all over the world, from Ireland, from, France, all over Europe, and then, of course, the East and West Coast horses. But sure is good to see the Kentucky horses and the Kentucky-based trainers and jockeys. They couldn't have done better at Santa Anita. So they have not announced where the Breeders' Cup is going to be in 2014 yet. So we're hoping to get it back at Churchill, but what a great day for Kentucky-bred horses yesterday.
It looks like Fort Larned won, actually in an exciting fashion, against a horse that we're familiar with. He beat Mucho Macho Man down the stretch, right?
Good point. Mucho Macho Man, another Kentucky-bred horse. Yeah, it was a great speed duel. Game on Dude, Bob Baffert's, he was highly respected and highly bet at the window. He didn't hit the superfecta at all, and so it kind of opened up some nice exotic betting. But he went off, I think, at 7-5 and didn't even hit the board. And Mucho Macho Man, we had the Stephen Foster winner, Ron the Greek, I think, finished fourth, and then Flat Out, another Bill Mott trained horse, finished third. So it was a very good day for Kentucky-bred horses, and it's real nice to see Brian Hernandez celebrate his 27th birthday out there and be given an opportunity to ride with the great riders. It was a great day for Kentucky yesterday.
Yeah, you mentioned, obviously, our favorite horse, Fat Day. I hear he recently won another one.
Yeah, Fat's doing well. He won, by the way, since we've spoken last. He won at Hoosier Park
Friday, the 26th, and we're trying to find a spot for him right now at Churchill. But
Good.
Pat's got his record up to 5 wins now out of 21 starts and 4 seconds. So he's almost he's hit the board in 10 out of 21 starts. So and he's right at that $100,000 earning. So he's really turned into a real nice horse, and he's in great form now. And we really are optimistic we'll be able to get another win, his 3rd win at Churchill with this short meet. Another thing for horse racing that's great, guys, I don't know if you guys saw this in the paper, but Churchill's been awarded September racing dates for the first time in the long history of Churchill Downs. So next year, you'll be able to go to Cardinal Stadium or Papa John's and watch the Cardinals play in September and walk over like we're doing now, walk right over and watch horse racing for the first time. They're taking those dates from Turfway, which has really, unfortunately, become a very kind of a bad meet there. The money's run out, but we're all hopeful. I don't know. On a political note, David Williams, who a lot of people, including myself, single-handedly have thought that he's kept Kentucky from getting slots and casino gambling, which have desperately helped the horse racing industry. He's been conveniently given a judgeship to get him out of the way, and I think we'll see some progress now on expanded gambling in Kentucky, which is much needed for the horse racing industry here in Kentucky.
I totally agree, Brian. As always, we appreciate the call, and give us the update next weekend.
Yeah,
whenever.
Yeah, and shout out to the Cardinals. Went to that game. I tell you what, they aren't. They have some issues, but boy, I tell you how impressive Teddy Bridgewater is, guys. I'll let you go on that, but boy, the more I see Teddy, the more I really think he's a premier quarterback with a long NFL career ahead of him. But love your show, guys. Keep up the great work, and I'll turn it off and listen to you on the way back on my iPad, on the app, on the way back to Ohio, guys. Keep up the good work.
There we go. Thanks, Brian. I want to mention on this point of the Churchill Downs for next year. Not next year, starting. When you can go out to the races, they've upgraded the paddock area. You know how, Kelly, in the paddock, you'd have to walk all the way around each side. It's super packed, jam to jam, shoulder to shoulder. Well, that whole centerpiece that you couldn't walk is now open. It's one big old Jeffersonville, Indiana. Contact their friendly and dedicated CPA, Marcy Franklin, who has over 15 years of experience, 502-424-1179, or check out their website at franklintaxes.com for more information. They're committed to providing expert advice and meeting every client's individual needs. Again, that is Franklin Taxes and Accounting. We appreciate them being a part of the Weekend Sports Buzz, helping us get into KFFSC. Let's go ahead and get to that break, and we'll be right back on the Weekend Sports Buzz.
Madman drums, runners, Indians in the summer with a teenage diplomat. In the dumps with a most as the adolescent bumps his way into his hat. With a bowler on his shoulder, feeling kind of...
Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz. Let us know what you think. Give us a call on the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz Line at
384-1450. Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz. We're brought in by the You Don't Want These Cards, a very popular hip-hop song these days in the Louisville area. Especially since Louisville football's undefeated, I think it's a relevant song.
Is that B-Sam or whoever it was?
I forget the name of him, but he's local, and it's a song all about
B-Sam.
You don't want these cards.
My street cred.
Playing college football and winning is all about a winning strategy, which you do know about if you're a Louisville fan for football. Not so much if you're a Kentucky football fan, but regardless, it's all about a winning strategy. For a winning strategy, when you buy or sell a home, allow Jamie Cox of Keller Williams, Louisville East, to put together a winning game plan for you. With interest rates near an all-time low, there's never been a better time to buy or upgrade. For personal attention, effective marketing, and results, contact Jamie Cox at 502-593-5454 or email Jamie directly at jamie@thederbycityrealtor.com. That's JAMEY at thederbycityrealtor.com.
Yeah, it's good stuff. We appreciate Jamie. He joined us during the draft weeks and weeks ago. It was fun to meet him. Check them out. Marcy Franklin, Jamie Cox, Franklin, Texas County, and, of course, Jamie Cox of Keller Williams Louisville East. Thanks, both of them. I do want to mention this. It is Sunday. The New York City Marathon would be running right now, Kelly, but obviously we had a disaster of Hurricane Sandy roll through the Northeast. A lot of deaths. The death toll could still go up. There's still areas of flooding. It's a terrible thing up north. The mayor of New York actually said, no, this race is going on, blah, 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 throughout the whole week. He still wants it to go on. But after all the backlash across basically America, basically anybody with a brain said this is dumb, it got canceled. Because what are you going to do, Kelly, when you have 300 police officers standing on a road watching people run by them just for safety for the fans, when you need those 300 police officers, the EMS, anybody out there, the fans out there helping, help stand down, help downtown New York, help those areas where there's people that are trying to survive. That was just dumb for the mayor of New York to even say the race will go on.
Yeah, I agree.
Are you on the same page as me?
I'm on the same page as you. It was a good decision for them not to do it.
I know. So that was just it would be going on day. I just wanted to mention that. It was a big old topic throughout the week. Basketball talk for the final 20 minutes or so here. Let's do it. It is the week. We are Sunday. We are in the week of tip-off. We won't get to talk about it. I won't be here next weekend for the first time in 2 years. I'm going to miss some radio time on, depending on if it was in a basement show or whatever. And I'm disappointed because it's the opening weekend of college basketball. Kentucky gets it going this Friday night, 8:30, against those Maryland Fighting John Renshaw Terrapins who are not good. Des Wells ineligible. He was going to come to Kentucky at one point. I can't say he was going to come to Kentucky. He was being looked at by Kentucky when he transferred out from Xavier. Went to Maryland, Kelly. He's ineligible now. There goes a big shot to them. I do expect Kentucky to start off season 1. No, I cannot wait. Louisville, they get it going as well here soon. But beforehand, we got the scrimmages coming up. Final scrimmages for Louisville against Bellarmine and Kentucky against Transylvania. Are you excited about basketball getting going?
Certainly am. I can't remember a time where I felt this way going into a season. I think that you're right. What you had mentioned earlier is Louisville, Final Four or bust. You could even say championship or bust. I
would say Final Four or bust.
Okay.
I don't like saying championship or bust.
Yeah.
Final Four or bust. And that's what I think it is for Louisville. I do.
If you don't make the Final Four, it's a very disappointing season.
Do you really care about your Big East championship that much, Kelly? Last year was awesome. You weren't really expected to get it.
I do. Cool. Just like I think Kentucky cares about winning the SEC.
I guess. I'll tell you right now.
Too. Okay.
I'll tell you right now. If Kentucky never wins the SEC, wins the championship every year, I don't care one bit. I don't care one bit. I don't. I really don't. I'm all about the big championship. Yes, it's awesome to win your conference, and I'm not taking anything against that. Kentucky won their conference last year. Louisville won their conference last year. Big props to both of them. It's all about that big one in the end, and this is the year that Louisville has that on their shoulder. Final Four bust. I'm sorry, it's Final Four bust for the Louisville Cardinals.
Yeah, they've got everything in place that they need. They've got depth up front. They've got great I think Russ Smith has added some muscle. He could lead us in scoring.
The guy we talked about already, Harrell, him and Bohannon with Gorgie down low. You've got every piece to a Final Four national championship team.
One of my posts that I made on Facebook recently after I watched the last scrimmage was that I could read it verbatim, but in effect, it really said that there will be games this year, in my opinion, that Rick ends up having to play Stephen Van Treese where he didn't want to. Maybe it's because of fouls, and I'm not predicting injuries or anything like that. But I don't think that Stephen Van Treese is he's not going to go out there and try to shoot or be Larry Bird.
Do you expect him to play much at all?
No, not much at all. 4 or 5 minutes a game, maybe.
At most, yeah, exactly.
But there will be some games where he plays 15 minutes, and it may be late in the game.
That's not good.
Okay?
That's not good.
I think Stephen Van Treese brings an element of being 6'9" and hustling that nobody else really brings.
I agree with the hustle.
He hustles more than anybody around.
He's a hustler.
And there is a place for that.
There's a place for that, but he's not talented.
Dennis Rodman type
He's not a Final Four caliber player. He's not.
I think there's a place for somebody like that.
Why? Because Pitino wanted him out twice? He wasn't even supposed to be a Cardinal.
He's not a talented guy that you're going to throw the ball into in the post, but what he's going to do,
give it to him on the outside or anywhere.
No, offensively, nope.
Anywhere.
Nope.
He could come in and play defense, and that's about it. For like you said, 4 or 5 minutes
and hustle.
And that's all you need.
Some hustle plays, dive for the ball. He doesn't care about sacrificing his body. I think that is the type of guy that helps to have at the end of your bench on a championship roster. That's my point.
I agree with you on that one.
He is not an NBA candidate or anything like that.
No.
But he is a valuable guy to be. I think that you got to say he's right above Zach. He's above Zach Price on the depth chart.
Which that's not good for you. That means you have really. That means Gorgie Zhang is your key. You can. I mean, do you want? How big is Bohannon and Harrell? 6'9", 6'8" each.
I think Shane's listed at 6'7".
6'7", so probably 6'6". Just you always get a few extra. Gorgie Zhang is your key to the season, in my opinion. You got a backup point guard. You could throw Russ Smith in there to carry the ball. You have Kevin Ware. You got Luke Hancock to run a point forward. Gorgie Zhang, if he goes down early, I mean, look what happened in Kentucky against Indiana. Anthony Davis went into early foul trouble. They lost by 1 point. Gorgie Zhang goes into early foul trouble. You don't have a true center in there.
I think you could make a case that Montrezl Harrell.
He definitely do it because he's so long.
And he is college basketball, even in the NBA these days. Kevin Garnett is a starting center in the NBA. I mean,
he's also 7 foot almost.
Yeah, listed at 6'11", but I mean, yeah, you're right. He's taller than Montrezl Harrell, but I'm talking about in college basketball. How many guys out there have a Dwight Howard or Andrew Bynum?
Nobody in college does, but there's plenty of big guys. You know what I'm saying? Not a true center is what I mean.
I think Montrezl Harrell is a true college basketball center.
I don't know.
He has a 7'6" wingspan. I mean,
that's huge.
He's huge. He's very broad. I mean, how big was Elton Brand?
I think he's a monster foul forward.
Elton Brand?
Elton Brand is 6'9", 6'10", depending on real height. I think he's marked around 6'10", 6'11". But I'm totally
6'9" is what he's listed
at. So 6'8".
Probably this. He was every bit of a college center. Is what
Harrell definitely has the length. He can definitely be your backup, but you want the true center, and that's why I think Gorgie. Gorgie. What do you think? 32, 33 minutes a game for Gorgie this season.
Sure.
You got to have. Obviously, you can run that double power forward. Which is no problem, but But with two of those, what if two guys go in early trouble? Bohannon is known for fouls. From last season, obviously. What if it's just Harrell? I mean, you have plenty of different guys. I guess Pitino is in one of those situations where it's a good thing to have so much. He can work with it. If there's guys.
I mean, that you could spell out doomsday scenarios all day long and say so and so gets hurt, so and so goes into foul trouble. Then what?
That's your key to the season. No injuries.
No injuries.
Basketball loves injuries.
They have over the last few years. Wayne Blackshear certainly looks healthy. Right now, knock on wood, it seems that everybody's healthy.
It seems that both teams, Kentucky, and we're going to talk about Kentucky here. Let's go to this break. We'll come back and finish it up. Weekend Sports Buzz.
Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz. Let us know what you think. Give us a call on the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz Line at 384-1450.
따사로운 인간적인 여자 커피 한 잔에 여유를 아는 품격 있는 여자 밤이 오면 심장이 뜨거워지는 여자 그런 반전 있는 여자
We're back here at the Weekend Sports Buzz final segment, 14:50 a.m. Give us a shout, 384-1450 on the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz Line. We're going to thank all the callers today. It's been a fun show so far. A lot of good talk. Obviously, we talked about Louisville's 9-0 record. Got a little bit of fantasy football talk with Kelly Thompson. Just wrapped up some good basketball. Talked a little bit about the Cards. You know, we're about Kentucky coming up here. They got obviously like I mentioned, they have their scrimmage against Transylvania, a little local Lexington game. And then they go this Friday night against Maryland in the opening of the Barclays Center for obviously it's not the opening. They've had the Nets game there and a few other teams, but they're going to the Barclays Center to take on Maryland. I can't wait. I'm excited for the basketball season. I expect we mentioned Gorgie Zhang maybe being a big key to Louisville this season, not want to get hurt, basically being an injury, being the key to Louisville, not going down, and that could be the run to the championship. For Kentucky, I think it's always the point guard. It's always Ryan Harrell. It's always the point guard for John Cow, and that's where it is again. He's been there for a year. He knows the offense. That's no question about it. That's a key to in my mind, is he already knows it. If you watch a little bit of the All Access, he was coaching his players through drills because he knows them. That's a big plus for your point guard, considering John Cow's point guard's all freshmen learning the system just like everybody else. Ryan Harrell goes, Kentucky goes, I think they'll be fine. It might have some losses. You might see some losses this year. Remember, kind of like the Brandon Knight year. 9-10 losses, still go to the Final Four. I'm happy with that. I really am. It's all about the ending results.
I have a good friend of mine who seems to think, big Kentucky fan, seems to think that as the season goes on, Harrow will be edged out of the starting lineup, and that Archie Goodwin will maybe be the starting point guard. What do you think of that?
I totally disagree.
Okay.
Archie will play point guard. He will. No way Ryan Harrow comes in a year under his belt, practicing behind Marcus Teague, learning everything, comes from NC State. Calipari wants him there. He's a true point guard with speed. He can get past most guards that guard him. He really can. He can get paint. It's all just how he controls himself. Archie Goodwin's not a true guard. He's way too flashy. He likes to do a lot to himself. If you're Calipari, if you know Calipari, he's not going to let a guy take over the game like that as a point guard. He's just not the way he allows it. That's why Ryan Harrow will be the point guard. I love Archie Goodwin. I can't wait to watch him play all season. He's going to be the leading scorer for Kentucky. That's why he won't be the point guard.
Okay.
It's as simple as that.
All right.
Well, I can't wait, though. The Bermuda Triangle, Indiana, Cody Zeller, they're so Will Sheehy. They're just so good. They got Christian Watford. This is unbelievable, Kev, what we're about to, the mark on for college basketball around here. I know last year we played UK U of O in the Final Four. That was amazing. But now we got all three teams could be in the Final Four.
My question to you is, who is going to lead Kentucky in scoring? Who's their go-to guy for scoring points?
It's Archie Goodwin.
How are those points going to come?
Hopefully through the dribble drive, because that's on your point before that. Ryan Harrell knows the dribble drive better than any point guard that's played at Kentucky under Calipari. Why? He's been there longer. It's simple as that. It's as simple. Archie Goodwin is the scorer. He's the guy that can create his own shot. He's a guy that can take it to the basket and dunk on you. He can shoot it outside still. He can shoot mid-range. He is the scorer without a doubt this season.
What do you think of the comparisons between Goodwin and, say, Tyreek Evans?
I don't like that. I don't like comparison. I like comparing to Dwayne Wade. Not the skill, the way they play. He's it's hard to explain. I like it kind of like Kevin Ware. I've compared Kevin Ware to Dwayne Wade's type play. Very unorthodox, I guess, is what the word is. Would be they can say he's going to the left side. He's going to shoot a weird layup with the right hand. It's hard to explain. I think that's more of the line of they both have motors. I think Goodwin has the Gilchrist, like Cal said, Gilchrist type of motor, not the Gilchrist motor, but he's right there with him. I've liked Archie Goodwin for 3 years. He's my guy.
Who's going to lead Kentucky in rebounding?
That's a good question. Nerlens Noel, 6'11". Willie Cauley-Stein, 7 foot. I think Willie Cauley-Stein might be better than Nerlens Noel. Maybe not the overall game, but down in that paint. A guy that can run a 4.40 that's 7 foot, Kelly, that's brutal. He's a athlete, not just a tall guy out there. I don't know. I can't. If I had to guess, I'll say Nerlens because he will get the starting nod. It could be Willie Cauley-Stein.
What about Poitras?
Poitras, he's gonna have to. He'll have to work. He's gonna. I don't think he'll lead the team in rebounding. He's a 6'7", 6'8" guy that's gonna be all around the court. He might play shooting guard at one point. He might go to the power forward. So he's going to typically play that small forward position, but he'll definitely grab plenty of rebounds for him. But I expect to be one of the 7-footers.
Once again, we got Kentucky starting their regular season this upcoming Friday, and Louisville starting a week from today. The regular season.
Stevie Masiello, former Kentucky, former Louisville assistant, Manhattan.
Yep.
I expect Louisville to run through the first couple games, and they got the Battle for Atlantis coming up, which is a good tournament. Duke is in there as well. You could see Kentucky and Louisville play Duke early in the season.
You certainly could. I mean, there's that is going to go pretty far as who Louisville gets matched up with in the Battle for Atlantis, as far as their strength of schedule and things like that.
Well, what do you
because if they get, if they end up playing a Duke or something like that, that'll be, their best out of conference game other than Kentucky. But that's big for Louisville this year to see. You got Missouri will be there, Stanford, Duke, Minnesota. Tubby Smith will be there. VCU,
Shaka Smart,
University of Northern Iowa,
went to the tournament, Sweet 16. Memphis, good. That's a damn good tournament.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see who Louisville gets matched up with, and that'll go pretty far in their out of conference strength of schedule, I believe.
Well, something I wanted to ask you. I talked to Mark about it. It was over the week, but we haven't got to talk about it yet. I know something you absolutely love is Rick Pitino.
I'm a big Rick Pitino
You are
fan.
Kelly Rick Pitino fan Patrick on Facebook.
Yep.
You are on there. 2022, signed that contract. How ecstatic were you? And do you think he'll make it to that end of that contract?
I don't know that he'll make it to the end of the contract. That's something that's very difficult to predict. I bet he doesn't even know. I think it's a good thing for stability, for recruiting right now, for him to say, I've got this contract laid out in front of me. I have no plans of going anywhere else. So he's targeting, whatever guys he's targeting for recruiting. You may know a little better than I do. I don't follow the actual recruiting as closely. But for him to be able to say, I've got a contract for the next 10 years, that's huge. He's 60. He's a young 60. He exercises every day. Kentucky fans seem to enjoy poking fun at how he looks physically, saying that he's old. He looks horrible.
He looks rough, but he's still in great shape.
He's in great shape. He takes care of himself. He's as enthusiastic as any coach is out there. So, he's got what it takes right now. 3 years from now, if he starts to, lose some of his steam, I don't know. I don't see it happening, really. He loves what he does so much.
He does.
I love the fact that they extended him 10 more years. I know that sounds so extreme, but it's only a good thing for the program.
Well, you got Pitino. He's very happy. All the issues in the past are gone. He's finally back to Pitino, living his life, coaching the way he wants to be. He's just being the guy he used to be, in my opinion. I think that's why he's happy. He's glad to be here. You kind of brought up on that 3 years down the road thing. You said, what if 3 years down the road you don't have another title? You still don't have that title.
If they are,
that's 20 years at Louisville, isn't it? Or no, that'd be 15, 16 years of nothing at Louisville.
With Pitino, yeah.
Or where are you at there?
If they're preseason number 2 or 3 and they're
always competing,
yeah, then I don't think you mess with it because a lot of winning a title has to do with getting in the right place at the right time. And then, even with Calipari, who what he's doing right now is as good as when any college basketball coach has been doing over a 3 or 4 year period at Kentucky. But all you can really ask for is to have a real talented team that's going to be right there in the Elite Eight, Final Four, year in, year out, that type of thing.
So what you're okay with competing? I think I can accept that. But what if you're back to the 4 or 5 years ago where you lose that first round? You go to the NIT, then you go to a state Elite Eight, then you're back to the first round loss.
Then the seat will be warming up. And Louisville fans will be freaking out again.
Which is down the road.
Yeah, every team has a little bit of a downturn, I guess, unless you're Kentucky right now. But that doesn't last forever, would be my contention. I was talking to my brother just a couple nights ago about what Denny Crum was doing in the 80s.
It's a different time, though.
Yeah, it's a different time, but you could compare between maybe I think 80 and 86. Handsome Jimmy would
Denny Crum was not getting one player to the NBA after 1 year. Why? It's a different era. Nobody wanted to leave after 1 year, really. Then, but it's different. Yeah, I don't think that really throws in there. But I did want to ask you on this season the suspensions that's happened. Are you worried about that at all?
I'm worried about it. Yeah,
I know if this was Kentucky, it'd have been a front page of ESPN. I'm sorry, it would have been.
Okay,
And I think it should be for Louisville. even if it's that game, Louisville's number 1, number 2 preseason. They are college basketball right now. Indiana, Kentucky, Louisville, we are college basketball. Any kind of suspension, in my opinion, is a...
It's not an actual suspension. They're not calling it a suspension.
Well, okay, well, whatever Louisville wants to call it, their own little personal terms, I mean, that's the issue. Went back, I can remember 2003, 2004, early 2000s, Gerald Fitch was suspended or not playing, whatever you all call it, for about a week. That was a big issue. Mm-hmm. Team turmoil came all over ESPN. That was in the middle of the season. I mean, now you got 2 guys missing the first exhibition game.
2
guys. Is that kind of scary throughout the rest of the season? One more thing could be a whole month of suspension. You don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. You're right. If it turns into something else, then that'd be a big deal.
I mean, do you care at all?
Yes, I care.
Okay,
I'm
that's
very
that's
concerned. I'm very concerned about it.
Because I've talked to a lot of my friends that are Louisville fans. I mean, most of my friends are Louisville fans, just where we are, but they don't care. It's fine.
As of right now, if he misses, if Shane didn't play the other night and Kevin didn't play the other night, and then they don't play against Bellarmine, what is that, tomorrow?
That's
I'm sorry, no.
No, it's the 7th.
This upcoming week.
It's the 7th.
On the 7th. If they don't play against Bellarmine, that's not that big of a deal.
No. The exhibition.
So as it stands right now, it's not that big of a deal.
But it is an issue.
To admit that I'm concerned with it, yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Could this turn into something where Patino says, maybe Shane has not been doing what he needs to do, and maybe it could snowball into something bigger. I really hope it doesn't. At this point, if I had to bet, I'd probably say it's not going to.
It probably won't if I had to guess either.
But to say that I'm not concerned about it at all would not be true.
That's fair. I think that's. I mean, if this was on the Kentucky standpoint, and let's say Archie Goodwin just got put on the bench for a game or 2, I'm kind of nervous. Mm-hmm. I am nervous. I want to know what happened, why he's there, and it better not happen again. And, that's what I'm going with. But.
No, I'm not going to deny that it's an issue. Yeah,
we're here, and that's all that matters.
It's basketball season. We're ready to play.
It's football season for your Cards still. Not taking anything from you. That's what your number 1 priority is still for the next, I'm assuming, 4 weeks to get to that undefeated record. So I am going to say good luck to you and your Cards.
Thank you.
I hope you do go undefeated so you can get in that game and get blasted.
And I hope Kentucky is able to...
Beat Sanford?
Beat Sanford.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the season, they announced Joker's no longer the coach.
They need to announce that now.
And then they hire Bobby Petrino.
Yes!
I would like that because I would like to see football be a little more competitive.
Imagine Kentucky with Bobby and Cal and Louisville with Rick and Charlie. Can't beat that.
Yeah. Lock it up for 10 more years.
Couldn't beat it.
A lot of people say that Kentucky wouldn't want Petrino. I think that's crazy. I agree with you.
Mitch Barnhart might not, but I want Bobby, and I think most of the fans would agree.
You want wins.
I want wins, and I want to be relevant in football every year, and that's the way to do it. It's been a fun show. A lot of callers. Thanks to everybody. Our guests, they were very busy again. We will promise to get these guys on. We've had Winston on before. We're definitely going to get them on. It's college basketball season. They're probably busy on a Saturday, so. We'll get them on. Of course, next weekend, catch Mark and our man Brad Steen on Saturday, 9 to 11. Brad's coming down and replacing me for Saturday. And Sunday, you got to go co-host?
It looks like it'll probably be our man Michael.
Michael. Got a guy Michael coming in. And, Unknown Michael. We'll just call him Unknown Michael.
Unknown Michael.
He's coming in. So it'll be a fun show, and I'll have plenty of guests next weekend. Everybody tune in. No home game, so we won't be on the remote location next week. 2 more weeks. I'll be hunting. I can't wait. 1 week away. It's been a fun show, Kelly. This is the Weekend Sports Buzz. Thanks for listening.